Hi guys, welcome to another lesson brought to you from my bed. Today we're going to continue learning about the percent triangle and specifically talk about if we know the percent and we know the part, how do we find the whole? We've been doing percent and whole and finding the part, so now it's time to talk about how to solve problems different ways. Let's review percent triangles. In our percent triangle, P at the top means part. That's going to be the piece of the whole in the problem. Then the percent symbol represents the percent in a problem, and the W represents the whole or the total in the problem. Now, in our percent triangle, when we worked with having the percent and having the whole number, we multiply those two together in order to find the part. But now when we start talking about having the part and the percent, or even the part and the whole, we're going to be dividing. So when we divide, it's important to always start from the top. This means we will always start by using the part and either dividing it by the percent to find the whole, or dividing it by the whole to find the percent. Today we're going to focus on taking the part and dividing it by the percent in order to find the whole. Let's try some practice problems. You may hear in a problem, 25% of a certain number is 16. What is that number? That tells us that the part of the whole number is 16, and the percent that we're going to be looking at is 25%. If I place those two numbers into my percent triangle, my 16 goes at the top for the part, and I need to convert 25% into a decimal, which is the same as 0.25. Now, like I said, we're always going to start with the top. So I'm going to do 16 divided by 0.25 in order to find the whole. Pause the video here, do this division, and then continue on to check your work. When we divide 16 by 0.25, we end up with 64. That means that 25% of 64 is 16. For the next practice problem, I'd like you to find a number that is 20%, that 20% of it is 1. So 1 is going to be the part, 20% is our percent, and when we put that into our percent triangle, we need to convert 20% to a decimal. When we convert that to a decimal, we can write it as either 0.20 or just leave it as 0.2. Pause the video here to do 1 divided by 0.2 and solve your answer. When we do 1 divided by 0.2, it's important to remember we need to move the decimal. When we have a number with a decimal on the outside, we need to move it. So we need to move it over once. So that really makes it the same as 10 divided by 2. When I do 10 divided by 2, I end up with 5. So 20% of 5 is 1. 5 is our whole number. For our final problem, let's do find a number so that 50% of it is 61. In other words, we're looking for a number where 61 is half, because 50 is half of 100. So please fill that into a percent triangle, divide, and solve for the answer. Continue on with the video once you have solved it. You should have found that 61 divided by 0.5 or 0.05 is the same as 122, which means half of 122 is 61, or 50% of 122 is 61. I hope you guys learned how to use the percent triangle when you have the part and the percent.